Hey guys, welcome to my journey here in Flesh and Blood. It's basically a series where I document my progress in this game. And last time I posted, I kinda showcased you guys my deck build for Rhinar. But when I went to my local gaming store, I didn't expect to play a different format. And that format was actually draft. Now, mind you, when I first played, I did not know what was going on. They told me, oh, we're trying out draft. I'm like, okay. But I went and played anyway, and this experience was actually refreshing, not only because of the fact that one, we're playing based on what kind of cards we pull and what we choose within certain packs. It has a different type of strategy in it, where you basically just choose one card and then pass the pack around until all of you guys are able to make a deck. Now that being said, we used the Uprising box, which actually only consisted of 3 heroes. So we had to play around based on what heroes we want, and the difficulty of building a deck within just that box that you get was actually challenging. Because say if 2 or 3 people within the same pod, which is the group of people that's passing around the packs within one box, chose the same hero, I would probably not have certain cards I'm looking for to build that deck. Well, that being said, I for that match I actually chose Dromai because I figured, okay, besides FaB, which I think a lot of people would probably choose, and Icelander, which is a wizard I'm not really familiar with, I'll probably try to go for the Illusionist, which funny enough, it has that same feeling of when I play Yu-Gi-Oh, same feeling of summoning a big monster, summoning a big dragon, just to attack my opponent. So that's why I'm used to summoning a dragon here and there. So I figured, okay, I'll choose Dromai, because at least with that, I was able to create a deck that would be able to summon these dragons. Now, mind you, I would have to find the dragons first, but my strategy going forward is well, if I don't see the big dragons, what if I just change my strat to just summoning the smaller dragons, the Aether Wings? Because at least with when I summon them, they don't really require much more the big dragon cards, and there's certain cards, of course, that would summon little dragons would go against and all that stuff. So I chose that, and my result on that actually did pretty well. I'm surprised. I actually did pretty well. I beat a FaB and also another Dromai as well, and I did fairly well in that matchup. Although he did when I faced off against the FaB, that was close. I was we were basically 1-to-1 health, but I still had my Aether Wings enough to pressure him for damage, so he had to block. And I was also smart blocking. Most of Dromai's card actually has a really good block value, so crazy enough. And then the other one, when I faced off against Icelander, that one to me I feel like it was somewhat of an easy matchup. I was able to pressure him and have enough blocks for his arcane damage, but I think playing Dromai against an Icelander actually has a high chance for Dromai to do well. But besides that, I actually had a good time. Shout out to my card shop, the People's Card Shop, where that event was hosted. I actually had a great time. Met met new people. Made some friends along the way and all that stuff. And yeah, hopefully I'll play a lot more draft because I do like that format. It's a bit more challenging, at least for deck building aspect wise. And yeah, now on to the next one when I'm playing actually Rhinar. So, taking Rhinar to the tournament, I actually had get myself prepared, check again on my deck list to see if everything's right. And I figured, like, you know what, I'll just take it to the to a tourney and see how I do well. This time there was actually a lot of people for this event. There was multiple heroes there, not just FaBs, although FaB is still the dominant hero there. I did see some Oldham, some Prism, some Icelander, and even an Azalea, funny enough, but I didn't get to face that person. So round 1 I faced off against Prism, and I have not faced a Prism quite well yet, especially on the CC format. So when I faced off against Prism, all I hear is that it's almost similar to Dromai, where she does have some Phantasm attacks where you could pop with your 6 attack power, which, you know, brutes have. So that's what I did. I kind of tried to smart block most of my attacks. And I think I opted into a claw build because I also was hearing that there's also Spectras, or at least there's some allies or auras that she has on the field that sticks on the board. And I figured if I have another, if I could multi-attack with my claws, I would be able to at least pop some of her auras right after I do one of my big attacks. I also opted in keeping trade in because at least that one I could like play smart and put trade in at my arsenal, and gives me at least about 3 attacks, one from the trade in, one from my first claw, and then the others, and then my second claw hits for like their auras or whatever else that's like, you know, I feel threatening. But crazy enough, in that match I actually was able to luck sack her by having her sack my Beast Withins or Massacre, and even letting my Blood Rush Bellow go off, which I think that's what kind of turned the tides for me. I was getting a lot more advantages, I was putting a lot more pressure so she doesn't put a lot more auras or Spectre shields, and hitting her auras that were what I was feeling like threatening, especially when they attack and I lose life and whatnot. So I was keeping her auras and her shields at bay while at the same time putting pressure. And I think at least facing against a Prism, the claw build was the right choice. I was blocking as well with my Phantasm Poppers, which is usually my Brute 6 powers. And yeah, I think I took that one easily. Oh, and funny enough, the way I beat Prism was I had her at 2 health, and I had my Reckless Swing ready. I was like, alright, are you gonna attack? It took a while. She didn't attack, she passed. I was like, oh no, if I draw a card, and again, my hand was loaded with 6 power, so I didn't want to draw a card to have a non-6 power, but at the same time it was kind of telling. I'm just glad that the player didn't recognize that I was gonna do a Reckless Swing finisher. So I just passed one more time, and then she finally attacked, and I'm like, alright, Reckless Swing, and then burn her for 2. Whew, that was a close one, but hey, at least I was finding it funny that I won by that. So in my next matchup, I actually went up and faced against a FaB, and I was like, alright, I should probably be prepared for this because I made my deck around that kind of mindset where I'm facing a FaB anyway. And instead of going for the claw build, I went of course for the club build, where I'm just gonna keep swinging with club and use my cards very defensively. But I figure they're not gonna block anyway, so I would have to keep swinging with my club and then maybe powering it up with with pummel. That way, I could seep in damage before he could kill me. But what I noticed is that usually FaBs are using their health pool as a way to block most of the damage, and then just pressure you with the same amount of damage or even more with what I'm giving him. Now, I think he was able to have one of his godly hands, because he was able to do what is it? Spreading Flames with double auto war and proccing the pouncing links to search for Assault the Wound. That is such a freaking, oh my gosh, that combo is so dumb when it goes off. And again, I only have about 4 cards to just try to block most of them out, and plus my equipments. And I probably should have switched out my Fiendal spring tunic to something like the barkbound strap, backbound strapping, because I know for a fact I'm just gonna block with my equipment anyway too. And at least with the backbone, the only way it'll be able to break is if I roll to get more mana. And I probably should have just done it like that, just to put more pressure. But that's just, you know, it was hard to beat against that fight, especially when he was able to get the Salt the Wound combo with Spreading Flames and, you know, a double Art of Wars. I was like, alright, he got that. You know, I'm not even gonna be mad about that. I mean, at least I did pretty well. One of the cards I actually cited in for that matchup was that All You Got, and again I was trying to like smart block, especially with that All You Got, to get more cards from my deck as a card advantage, or at least to stay even, you know. But overall at that matchup I kind of, you know, didn't really take the dub, and so I lost that one. Now on to my next matchup. Again I faced against the FaB, but this time I didn't get like the double Salt the Wound and like double Art of War combo shenanigans at me. I was actually able to fight pretty well on that. I was able to at least swing with clubs, swing with my 6 powers, power it up with pummels, try to at least put him under pressure as well too. And I was also trying to have that same mindset of when FaB tries to attack me, I won't block some of his first 2 attacks unless it's of course something threatening that would have an on-hit effect, which I did. And again, the MVP to that is playing that All You Got, because when I see it and block a certain like his Phoenix Flames or whatnot, I was able to at least draw a card and stay you know, in that kind of advantage where he doesn't like destroy my entire hand. And plus the cards I draw from that All You Got, I sometimes just use to pitch for a club and at least put pressure that way. And I had him at least at 4 health, enough to have lethal with my club. So at least I felt good about at least with that matchup. But you know, at the end of the day I still lost that one too, because yeah, FaB is such an aggressive card against Rhinar. Now on to my next matchup. I went up and faced against an Oldham, and this is the matchup that I wasn't as familiar with Rhinar. I was told at least they have a decent, you know, fight, but Oldham is way more defensive, and I wasn't so sure which weapon I should have gone for, either the claw or the club. And I figure, you know, I'll go with the club, because at least that's how I built the deck, you know, with the pommels and whatnot. And yeah, Oldham's pretty hard to like actually seep in damage. I'm like looking at my health, and I know I'm doing like 6 plus more damage. I'm also intimidating here and there, but he was able to at least mitigate them with like Crown of Seeds, with his defense reactions, like natural Oldham's talent of defense reactions, and even just big, you know, blocks. I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I like, I could see why Oldham's actually is a really good hero for playing like a turtle, you know, just block everything, you know, and swing with his Hone Hammer, which when he swings his hammer and he pitches an ice, he's gonna make a frostbite on me, which kind of hinders me on my turn. So yeah, me not being familiar against Oldham and whatnot, you know, I was like, you know, I'm just gonna try to put pressure like I usually do, but he was able to block a lot of my damage. And by the time he beat me, I checked out the life total, and I think I only had him down to like 17 compared to like my 0 health. But other than that, I was like, damn, alright, I understand why now. I feel like I just gotta play more games to at least understand more the heroes I'll be like, you know, facing against. But that being said, at least for that tournament, I only took 1 win, which, you know, I think it's fine. I'll take it for what it is. I'll use it as a learning curve. And my takeaway, at least on the build of Rhinar, is at least I forgot there was one card I could have used instead of like the Barraging Bighorn, and that was Pack Hunt. And I totally forgot about Pack Hunt, that it just gives a natural intimidate, you know. So yeah, I should probably take in a Barraging Bighorn for Pack Hunt at least, because hey, it's just natural intimidate. I don't have to like do an additional cost or whatnot. But yeah, other than that, I think that's my only thing that would probably switch around. And yeah, on a CC tournament, I only did 1 win and 3 losses. But other than that, I did have a good time. Had a fun time meeting a lot of people, listening to deck techs, hearing their stories and whatnot. It was just a blast. And so shout out to Darkside Games for hosting that event, and I'll play around next time too. But that being said, I've been kind of interested in kind of building Dromai actually. Ever since playing with that draft and whatnot, and ever since it gave me that kind of feeling of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! In a way. It's like playing that card game in this card game. It was kind of funny to me. That I was like, alright, I'll try to build a Mother of all Dragons, and we'll see how that goes. Next time I'm actually gonna show you my deck list for Dromai, and we'll see how I do next time on another tournament event. Alright, but other than that, hopefully you guys had a good time listening to me talk about my journey to playing Rhinar. I think for Rhinar right now, he has a good chance on Blitz instead of CC, just for the fact that it has a lower health pool, and Rhinar has a really good damage outputs there. So I'm gonna try to probably put Rhinar more into Blitz build, and then for CC, I'm probably just gonna use Dromai. But next time I'm gonna actually show you guys my deck build for Dromai, and let me know how that goes. Alright, if you like this video, again, please like, subscribe, and share this video to other people that also likes this content. Plus ring that notification bell so you can keep up to date to what I do on the future journey. Alright, but until next time guys, thanks for watching my video. Alright, peace.